Do we do that in the intro?
No, we shouldn't. That was a bad one.
Yay.
Maybe if we nailed it. Why don't you put the click back on, Matt?
Shit.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the Mink and the Monk. All of us are part of the Mink and the Monk and Pat, I guess
Yes,
is what
sir.
it should be.
Yeah,
So that's Brad Monkell.
that's me.
That's Pat Flores.
That's me. Yeah,
Or
hi.
Kim Kardashian.
Look, I'm Kim. You work to get money. Did you see that shit?
No.
She was like, she's
But
like
I'm
giving
Matt
advice.
Fink, by the way. We're moving on, yeah.
And this is Matt Fink. Dude, at one point, Kim Kardashian was like, she was being interviewed, and I really don't know a ton of the context, but she was like, what advice would you give to, up and coming businesswoman, right? Or something along those lines. And she just said something like, people just don't want to work nowadays. They just don't want to, work, and if you work, you're going to become rich. And it's just like, shut the fuck up.
If you work, you're going to become rich?
I'm really
Not
like
clarifying which
simplifying
kind
it.
of- oh, okay.
But like that's along the lines of what she said. I just feel like rich celebrities cannot tell regular people to do work. Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, though, what she's done as far as bringing attention to certain things with law and in the courts that she's been doing, absolutely amazing. That said, your impression of her drives me crazy. And congratulations, I guess. I think her and Pete Davidson are getting along just fine, it would seem.
She seems happy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Important stuff.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I don't see how that leading that kind of successful lifestyle leads to her. I don't know, talking like how my relatives post on Facebook. But at this point, I feel like any attention's good, even if she's saying something. I don't know.
Yeah. Just to me, it's like if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, right, and you're trying to give me advice on how to become rich, it's like, shut up, because it's so different. You know what I mean? It's like some people are really born into that shit. Like born into richness and born
really?
into
Where? In America?
I don't know. I think some people. So it's like not the same. Like, what do you think? We're just sitting on our ass, not doing anything.
Yes,
Fuck?
that actually is the what's not the talking point, but what am I trying to say? That is how you're spoken about in sort of a, for lack of a better word, in a mainstream media, so to speak.
Right.
Like if you're broke, that is your fault, and you're just not working hard enough. I mean, that really is the narrative in here.
Also, as an artist, I'm lucky I had an older brother who was already doing music professionally before me. Because before that, it does look kind of like like I'm not actually working.
Yeah. My father was a professional musician, so I grew up in that environment. But whatever. I mean, the idea that everybody has that it's a meritocracy and we all are playing on the same level field, obviously is that's insane to say that, especially if you have $100 million in the bank.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what other impressions do you have, Pat?
Oh my God, I'm trying to think. I got a really good Aussie,
Yeah.
Fucking Australia.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm good anymore. For one tour, when we went all the way to Nashville, that's all I did. Which isn't saying much. Maybe I did it for 2 hours, because apparently the whole way through, 18-hour drive right from Philly to Nashville, just about, I slept the entire way. And the whole band was just like, bro.
And you were driving?
No, I'm basically.
Yeah.
They were just like, let's take Adderall and just stay awake. And I'm like, I'm going to sleep.
That is a drive, man. That's a.
It's
I was gonna say you were
hike.
doing the Aussie the whole time. I was gonna say, and this is when the band broke up. Yeah, I can't imagine being.
It's like, all right, guys, we in Nashville. The Lounge Down Under.
Last time you were here, you were doing a bunch in the Aussie.
I did a bunch in Aussie.
Yeah.
That's why you're back.
Yeah. With the Mink and the Monk, ma. Welcome.
Yeah, you're really more of a voice actor than a producer or a guitarist.
In a world. In a world. Brad.
What about Kardashian impressions, though? You got a good Caitlyn?
No. I have a good
careful.
one of Courtney Kardashian just going like, Travis.
Wait, is it is it true that Caitlyn's getting a show on Fox News?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm actually genuinely curious. Bill Maher had a great joke about it. That's the only reason I know. He's
Uh-huh.
like, oh, now they'll have 2 Tuckers. Bill Maher's a little hit or miss for me sometimes, but
Well, he also had a good one this week about. Did you see that Will Smith was in the news this week?
Oh well.
I don't know. What are you talking about, dude?
But he said, let's not disrespect Will Smith. He gets enough of that at home. I just thought that was. I think it was the same episode. I just saw the clip of it. I didn't actually watch the show this week.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So did anybody else here think that the Oscars was like a slap in the face? Is that a terrible way to segue into current
That's
events?
actually the perfect way to segue into it. Man.
I just think it's good for their numbers that they partnered with the UFC, you know? I think Dana White's making some good moves out here.
Listen. In defense of the UFC, no one open hand slaps anybody in any of those rounds.
Yeah, dude.
You know, nobody.
And if it was anyone from the UFC, Chris Rock would have been on the floor. I'm still sleeping.
Yeah, and if we're talking weight class, I'm pretty sure Will outweighs Chris quite a bit.
Yeah, did you see that early pandemic video? He chunked up. He was.
Oh, Will?
Yeah, now he's trying to act tough. He was
looking a little
bit
pudgy.
He was looking
Yeah.
Fresh Prince of that belly there for a little bit.
I can't really talk. I got no ground to stand on.
What are you talking? Dude, look at
I
you,
can't
man.
even see my feet, so yeah, we're not even. Yeah. All week I've been kind of thinking about this, and as I suspect all you. No, not.
I'm like almost a little bit. I'm kind of tired. Not tired,
tired
of
of it.
it.
Yeah, we're tired of it.
I'm exhausted of like. I feel like I've won my point already. You know what I mean? Like
Not
when
according to your Facebook post and all the hating that
I had to
everybody was-
delete it, bro. I had to delete it because my friend was like starting beef with someone else. Like one of my close friends started beef with someone else, and I deleted his comment because
That's
I'm
how
like,
Kevin Hart felt about Will Smith and Chris Rock. He's like, "What's my friends? What are you doing?" You know, like the same way that's funny that it's turning into that.
So someone was defending. I don't really know the perspective, right? But basically, my friend commented something specific, and then someone called him out on it, and then my friend was just like responded like right away, like super angry, like Facebook style. And I deleted his
All
comment,
caps.
and I was like, hey man, just so you know, I deleted your comment. And I just don't think it's worth it getting into that on Facebook, man. Like, just chill out. You know, it's really not worth
Save
it.
it for the Oscars.
Save it when you're in person. Hit them, maybe.
Hit him in the face, dude. You know. And he was just like, I just feel like you're not letting me make my piece, say my point, and I'm just like, I'm deleting this whole fucking post, bro. You know,
And it's not my
so
place
annoying.
to have you make your piece on my face. My aunt watches this. What's
right.
wrong with you? Anyway, yeah, it's absurd, but it actually shows people thinking that they have anything to really chime in with. I guess it's just an odd thing to have that kind of argument in that forum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
just
should
like-
slap the shit out of him at the Oscars instead.
Yeah, Will Smith is doing it.
There's this like Capital Region Award show called The Eddies, and Bad Mother's just like nominated for that. So I was like, Matt, I'm going alone.
Wait, is
bro.
this the thing that I voted for? Or this is something else.
No, that's something else.
Okay.
That's like a March Madness thing. But like, so we're nominated for that. I told him if I win, I'm gonna go up and accept the award and make a joke, and he has to go up there and just fucking slap the shit out of me in the face, dude.
It'd be
We'll
great
make it
if
famous.
this was the thing now. Like on the cookie channels, instead of the judges saying, I thought your cake was a little... Just getting up and slapping the shit out of the 9-year-old. You know, like on the child bakers.
Master Chef Junior.
This was an insane week. This was totally insane. This whole thing was absolutely insane. It's amazing how my emotions... The gambit, though, that it ran, like thinking about. We talked on Wednesday.
Yeah, we went in for like 45 minutes, and I was like, man, we should just do a podcast. I think at first I was like, let's do an episode on this. Let's save what we have to say.
Yeah.
But we did it. We didn't. We just went in anyway. We were just like, that fucking bastard.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for TMZ to reach out to me, saving my hottest takes.
You gotta get
you
your
know.
takes there, dude.
Although I do think that Jada is the female Chris Brown.
Wow.
Basically.
I did watch a lot of people weigh. I didn't know how. I didn't trust. How I was feeling was like, am I really this annoyed at this? Like, I don't really get annoyed
Over celebrity stuff.
I don't really. And it's not to take like a stand of saying that I don't have time for this. It's just like I literally don't. I have like B-flat-7 to practice and something. Like I got shit to do, so it doesn't really. But I watched the red carpet with my wife. My wife watched, so she loves the gowns and all of that. And then like we went about our lives. We didn't actually watch it, so it wasn't until the next morning. But as soon as I watched it the next morning, like I was immediately upset, and I was upset for like trying to figure out the next 3 days why I was so upset. I don't know if you guys had this same.
I was
thing.
the same exact thing, dude.
How about you?
I don't know. I wouldn't say it affected me that deeply. I was just like, oh, what, Will Smith, what are you doing? Like, I was, you know.
It affected me, like, in a weirdly visceral way. I'm just like,
Same.
Will Smith, you're such a bitch. And it affected me more because I have friends who are like, who I know are this, like, they wouldn't do shit if someone talked shit to them, but out of nowhere, everyone can be like, yeah, if someone talks shit to me.
Oh, the posturing.
Yeah,
Just
like,
posturing,
everyone who talks shit should get smacked in the face. And I'm like, no, you wouldn't.
I'm going to venture a guess
dude.
that everybody saying that is probably under the age of 25. Am I? Or
No.
You had like grown people?
Like 20, like, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
under
yeah.
30.
Under 30, probably,
Okay.
yeah.
And I only say that because like some people that I talk to that are now my age, but I thought of them when they were currently like younger. Their reaction would have been very much, I would put hands, you know, all that.
Yeah.
And now those same people are like, yeah, that was it was just like, it wasn't a disrespectful thing on that, warranting that kind of response. And quite frankly, you're just in any other place in the world, in the country, that's called assault, and you get arrested and you go to jail, like anywhere else. So that's what I think I was getting to the bottom of that. That's what was pissing me off. Like, so like, it shows a lot of entitlement that you can just like do that. So that's what I was kind of annoyed at. I also was annoyed that it was quite embarrassing to do that to Chris. And then that said, could you have handled it any better than what Chris did? I thought it was so. I'm in awe of how he handled that.
Real fucking pro, dude.
He saved the show.
Cool as a cucumber.
That show could
Made a joke.
have been like. That show could have been.
You could tell from his face though,
right
like after
there.
that, like that he was revving up to really fucking murder this
But
guy.
did you watch his
dude.
response after it though? Like he was a mitigating force. I couldn't like to do that. His tour is called what? Death of Ego tour, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Chris, I mean, he was the embodiment of like his ego had no part to do with his response. You know how hard it is to get hit in the face? Like have someone confront you and hit you in the face
in front of like millions of people.
You know what? All right, yeah, add that in. But in general, like you're faced with what's in front of you. I don't know if your initial thought is how many cameras and how many, or maybe it was because he is a host.
That's a big part, yeah.
He's hosted before, but to handle it that way. So when Will said, keep my wife's name out
of your fucking
keep
wife.
your mouth off my wife.
That's probably true too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't know any of that stuff until this week when I started. Like, I didn't realize that
The whole entanglement thing.
Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah. And I'm not saying that to be cool. I'm just saying that I didn't know she had a show called The Red Table or something, and her and Will have openly talked about all of the things in their life. I mean, like things that I don't know why you would share any of that. Like I wouldn't share any of that with you.
Bro, I still haven't met your wife.
Yeah, that's right.
She hates you, dude.
No, but I mean, it's just like they are whatever. But that whole thing, and now I lost my train of thought because now I'm thinking about where were we with that? With what was I gonna say?
Shit, my bad, dude.
Oh, how he handled it.
Right,
Just
yeah.
that he got struck. I don't know if you've ever been slapped in the face hard or.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's your usual response probably isn't like, hey man, cool, I won't do that again. Like you get hit in the face and it's just so the fact that he did and took a hit, it looked like
I mean, Will Smith followed through. The form was good.
form
though.
was good. Open hand,
With the block on the-
he
on
could
the
have been hitting a
left.
golf ball just as easy as he was slapping Chris in the face. It was his hips were perfect. Yeah. So like and he said, okay, man, I won't. He actually defended himself a little bit, saying like,
It was a
I didn't think
G.I.
it. I didn't.
Jane joke, dude.
Yeah. But the fact that I think he saved the show. So I'm still in. I was upset all week, which is weird because, like I said, I don't really follow this kind of thing. So I was just, but I think it was part of it was the entitlement. I don't know where you guys were with that. The fact that security tried to remove him, he's like, nah.
And there's a bunch of different reports of like what actually happened, whether they tried to remove him, whether they like, barely tried, you know what I mean? Like,
bottom line is he should have been removed.
100%. Whether it's like, it's not his choice, you know what I mean? Like, you don't just get to be like, no, I don't want to go after I assaulted someone, and they're just like, okay, fuck it,
Yeah.
He's Will Smith. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying.
But I agree. Like, it's just dumb that like just because he's Will Smith that it has to like stay at that.
Yeah.
Like you said, entitlement. It just looks like it's like Hollywood.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if it's dumb that he's like, the whole point of what the Oscars is exactly that, to celebrate celebrity. I mean, like, the only way, Joe Rogan, I wanted to know what Rogan said because he's a trained murderer. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted to know like how he felt, and he was saying like, you don't if you intend to engage in one-on-one combat with somebody, you don't slap them and then turn your back and walk away. Like, and then Rogan's like, if he only had like a year of training, he would have just leapt on Will's back and choked him. Like, that's what I was kind of wondering, the same thing. Like, he turned his back, smirked, walked away. And it's like, so that's how you knew he didn't have like a real intent. Like, he just was dominating somebody because he knew he could. But if you take it in context, I can't think of a more inappropriate act than that.
It's a weak move, dude. It's a weak move.
It's soft. It's emotionally soft. You couldn't,
It was less about him like standing up for his wife and more about him trying to prove that he's quote unquote, a man, quote unquote, right? Like, but he's been being cucked by the internet for like 2 years.
I didn't know any of this. Yeah, I didn't realize it. It's because, but in defense of the internet, they kind of put it out there.
100%, dude. And it's even more out there now.
Yeah. It is, because I was like, what is, I don't know what they're talking about. I was like, oh. Like, so I watched like the previous episode, like, I think it was an interview with her and Gwyneth Paltrow. Mm-hmm. Right? Or is there something else? They came out publicly and said...
It was the Red Table thing.
Okay,
Yeah, I remember hearing about it. I never watched it. But it just kind of seems like it's like they're both just going through shit. Like, and they're both just like living crazy lives. Like, it's like, don't bring that shit
I said
to
that to
Chris
my
Rock's
wife
face.
that day. I was like, something happened. They had a bad day. There's no way they showed up happy.
Right.
And had that happen. And the snap's amazing. Like, he's laughing. Mm-hmm. And then the camera pans away for a second.
And he's walking towards the stage. It's like all good humor. And then
the reaction was, he really laughed. I mean, he was laughing.
But Jada wasn't stoked about the joke.
No.
Okay, but now a million more Jada jokes have been made.
1,000%. And that's Will's fault, dude. But if I feel like, I don't really know too much about it, but it's like...
And I don't think you have to actually have the I don't think you have to have the discussion, because we're sitting here as civilians. We're not in that world.
Well, it's just like, from the outside looking in, it's like, is this Jada like kind of like encouraging like that kind of behavior? You know what I mean? It sort of feels that way a little bit, because if you look at the camera and he's like laughing, and then Jada's not stoked about it, and then he sees that she's not stoked about it. If that was my lady, if that was Phoebe, she would have pulled me like, don't fucking go up there.
Yeah, if you were about to attack Brad, I would try to pull you away.
No, you wouldn't. No, you would not. I would kiss him right in the mouth right now. What are you going to do about it, bro?
You'd probably just operate the camera.
It'll be the OnlyFans.
I got to get the... What's the bar that you can pan?
The slider?
I'm picturing like one of the ones that auto balances, like the little...
A gimbal. I got one in my car, dude.
The gimbal.
Yeah, tongue lashing Brad.
Okay.
Like delicious, or...
No, but I mean, no offense. Yeah.
So look out for our Patreon.
That's right. We're doing a live show. Anything can happen.
Regarding that, though, she didn't make an attempt to like. I think she was glad that he did what he did.
She was because there was another angle from it that I saw.
The one behind them,
right?
I saw
she
that.
was
She was laughing
dude.
after she slapped him. After he slapped him in the face. Yeah.
I think she was controlling him with her mind.
In a way, maybe.
She kind of looks like Professor X.
Why?
You're gonna be on a hit list.
Wait, I'm gonna get slapped.
You're gonna wake up to that Bad Boys theme, and he's gonna be over top of you. It's like, in the movie.
Bad Boys theme?
Yeah,
What's the
theme?
Bad Boys theme.
Not
Steam.
I heard Steam too.
Oh,
Bad Boy Steam.
Oh yeah, no, that's the name.
All right, get on the camera.
Yeah. Well, are we still talking about it?
That's the name of his bodyguard team.
Bad Boy Steam.
Bad Boy Steam. Yeah. This is stupid. Yeah, but I it's such a strange. I've been thinking about it a lot of different angles. I've been enjoying listening to other people talk about it. There's some. D.L. Hughley had some great. Did you watch it? What he said?
No.
He had said, he told, like, I can't understand. I couldn't possibly fathom the life of celebrity and what the bubble that these people live in. I couldn't possibly imagine. But D.L. Hughley can. I mean, he's a pretty. He's not a movie star, I guess. The way he was in Soul Plane, though, as the bathroom attendant, that was pretty.
It's movie star.
It's pretty good to me. I enjoyed that role. But Tom Morrow goes in to take a dump, and D.L. Hughley's in there spraying the. Nobody's seen it.
I haven't seen it. No.
That's 2 strikes. You haven't seen The Godfather, and you haven't seen Soul Plane.
Well,
wow. No, we're done.
One more strike we're replacing.
I've seen the last episode of Breaking Bad.
Such an idiot. You missed the first 57 or whatever it is. But
I'm cultured.
They all die in the end.
Spoiler alert.
R.I.P. Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston dies in the end of Breaking Bad.
But D.L. Hughley said, to bring it back to that, he said, you're arming the same people who are disrespecting you by really bringing some extraordinarily intimate details of your lives into the public. Like, your celebrities, the whole idea of the Oscars is to celebrate it's pageantry, it's debauchery. You're celebrating people who pretend with an audience, like, over, it's like 15 million Americans watch it, but worldwide I have no idea. And I'm not dissing acting. It's incredible. I love movies. I love Will Smith. I've been watching him since I've been a kid. So that whole idea of just being that open about your, like, I don't understand it. I don't understand why. I mean, that's why you're calling him a cuck, because he's because these details. So it makes the slap seem incredibly strange, like in that. Like,
I mean, it gives reason to it, like, in a way. It doesn't validate it, right?
No.
It gives reason to it, like, oh, okay, well, this dude's been literally like cucked for 2 years, and he's trying to feel like he's alpha still. So, you know what I mean? He's going to show that he can slap someone. He basically sucker punch someone, right? Like, if you're trying to fight someone, put your hands up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but no, you sucker. That's a weak move, dude.
It's also it's just weak because it wasn't really that bad. It was like, I was thinking about this. You have a role to play in all of these different situations. Like, if you go to a stand-up show, your role in the audience is, you have a couple of choices. You can laugh or you can heckle. If you heckle somebody good, you're going to have your ass handed to you. It's not going to work out well for you. As evidenced by Tony Hinchcliffe in his last show, when he took on an entire family, and I don't know if they'll ever be the same after. They thought they were going to frown during his performance, and he just saw the look on their faces, and I never seen anybody do that. Like, the mother came out of the audience to try to make fun of Tony, and that it didn't end well for her either. Anyway, you have a role to play, right? You have, those are your choices. If you don't like what the comedian says, you don't get to walk up on stage and strike them. But in the Oscars, the role of the spectator is us in the audience, and then the role of the people up for Oscars is to be famous and be extraordinary and spend millions of dollars on, well, not spend, but they wear millions of dollars in jewelry and clothes. It's all pageantry. There's a red carpet, right? There's limos, red carpets. Everybody's asking your opinion. So you have the comedian's role at the Oscars, so just bring some levity to it. Make fun of you a little bit. Sometimes it's no big deal. Like, just make fun of you because you date younger women, but I mean, certainly Ricky Gervais that's the Golden Globes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. He's all, you still don't have a right to say anything other, because if you do, he's going to tear you apart in a different way. So it's just to bring, like, he completely violated whatever the social pact is of the Oscars in your role. That's what bothered me. Like, he violated the whole idea of what we're supposed to be celebrating you.
Right. Yeah. But the thing is too, is like a lot of people who have argued for Will's side has been like, well, they're human too, and they can get hurt and stuff like that. And it's just like, sure,
they can
that's
get
true.
hurt, but
like, well, they can get like, their feelings aren't invalid, right? And I'm like, whatever, that's fine. Like, you can have insecurities and stuff like that, but you're a millionaire celebrity. Like, you need to have a thicker skin, and I'm sure you do, right? Like, you've been a celebrity
up
for
until
30
that point,
years.
he knows the game.
And you make fun of people too. You're a comedian too. So how is it that like? So there's something else there that like we I guess sort of know about but don't know about.
Yeah, but if you're going to acknowledge that side of it, do you not have to acknowledge the side of it that it's like we're just celebrating you for what? Like the whole show is ridiculous, over the top, absurd. There are bombs being dropped on people, and we're talking about somebody's gown. It's in how well they pretended on film. I'm not saying he's a Hollywood, he's a juggernaut. I mean, the man's movies have not hers, his. If I don't see Booty Call again, I'm fine. And I don't watch Nutty Professor for that performance. I watch for Eddie Murphy and his genius, whatever. But between the two of them, I think they're tapping out about $500 million. They get paid well for what they. All of these actors get paid extraordinarily. I got to play weddings. I'm not comparing. I'm just saying, like, how many times do you want to slap the shit out of somebody on a wedding? You can't. You're not allowed to. You won't work again.
Yeah. Normal people couldn't do that at the show. I mean, if someone else did that, like you were saying before, that they get kicked out.
If you get arrested.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Chris Rock should have pressed. I'm not saying that the charges or anything, but it's like it shouldn't have even gotten to that. Where is if I storm the stage, pretty sure I get arrested. So where is this? We're asking, like, so it shows their aristocracy, are they not? Like, he's saying, like, how dare you offend my wife? And challenged. He didn't even challenge him to a duel. He just slapped him and walked.
And sucker punch.
Yeah. Remember what Charlie Murphy said? He goes, "Oh, you get slapped in the face, man. Back in the day, someone had to go. Someone had to die. I challenge you to a duel, and somebody was getting shot." So he was. It just shows that, like, yeah, you can't be both of these things. Someone who has been, whose honor has been insulted by a comic at the Oscars. That's their job. Your job is to either laugh like he originally did, or frown, or side eye like she did. But those are your options. You don't get to, like, it just shows how the whole thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't get to physically assault someone because they made a joke, right?
That's his role.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
That's his role. That's his
even
job.
if that wasn't his role, you still don't get to physically assault someone.
But it is his role. That matters.
Right.
Like, there's a this is my role, this is your role. Chris Rock at the Oscars. I thought what he said last time about her, was that 2016?
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Remember that year Jada Pinkett said that that she was going to boycott the Oscars. I think this was the year where, like, nobody of color was nominated. Was that year?
2016?
2016, 2017.
Sounds about right.
And she came out and said she's boycotting. And Chris Rock said, Jada Pinkett boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. And that's so true. Who cares what you think? Like the whole thing is pageantry. It's ridiculous is what it is. Like, we're celebrating you because you're celebrities. And you can, I guess, I mean, where else does this happen? Does this even happen at the Grammys? Is it the same kind of level of...
No, the worst that happened was like Kanye going up on stage.
And that dude's banned. Like, he was right. Wasn't he banned for the next?
I don't know if he's banned.
Not now, but I think the following year, wasn't he? I don't know.
Something, I have no idea. But still, he didn't physically assault someone at least. He didn't smack Taylor Swift in the face.
No, he did not. but it was pretty rude what he did. Yeah. But I mean, it was funny actually. I thought that actually was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, a little chaos is kind of cool. Old dirty bastard.
For the viewer, it's like,
oh
hell yeah, we're talking about it right now.
Well, it's good TV, but I feel bad for them just because it's like
for Taylor Swift.
That I don't care as much about. Will Smith just is clearly going through some shit, and then I feel worse for Chris Rock because it's like he shouldn't have to put up with that. But I guess that also Chris Rock is going to be selling some nice.
Oh
tickets.
my god, I can't wait!
Like it was sold out.
It's because he's such a genius. I can't wait to see how he. I mean, he already handled it brilliantly. So the punchline is going to be amazing. But it's. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the whole thing is absurd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny you brought up the Charlie Murphy Chappelle Show episode.
Someone had to go.
Because, well, the way he sucker punches him, I think of in the skit where he's like,
he hits Rick James back and slaps him right into the bar. Why'd you hit me? Because you hit me. He goes, that was last week. He goes, that was an hour ago. Whatever it was, I can't remember. Or 2 months ago, whatever. It was insane. I was trying to think of anyway, what else would this
I mean, dude, the whole situation, the thing that really got my blood boiling was less of the what happened, but more of the aftermath of it, of people coming out and being like, you don't make fun of someone's illness, you do deserve to get smacked. And I'm like, first of all, like, I find it so ironic that the same people who are like anti-violence, anti-abuse are the same people who are defending Will Smith for doing this shit. And it's just like, you can't have both of those things, man. More coffee. Ginge.
Well, great. Is the view? Are we getting a good view of Brad's? That was that was a taste. The part of it that really I don't. Yeah. No, I'm good. Thanks. And look, did you notice the mouth on this cow though?
It's hot. That is. You got me slipping in that mouth, bro. That's the perfect size.
You're showing him the backside. That'd be funny if it came out the back, like it would literally poured out of the udder.
It's milk. I mean,
you gotta take a little bit.
Yeah, you know the thing that really did just to show how absurd the whole thing is, like he slaps Chris Rock. And then he gets consoled by Denzel Washington and Bradley Cooper. You can see Denzel's giving him the sage advice, like on your highest moments, that's when the devil comes out or whatever it was. It was like, who's consoling Chris? Like, who's telling him at his highest moments, that's when you get the shit slapped out of you? Like, where was that? And Bradley Cooper, also both Oscar winners, right? And then he gets to go on stage and cry
and say that he's like a vessel of love.
That was awesome. But he gets a standing ovation. How disconnected from reality. It just shows what the show is. Like, he assaulted another man and you're celebrating him. Yeah. Like, I don't think he should, like, I know people are talking about, not that it matters, but I don't think you shouldn't lose the Oscar. He probably gave an incredible performance and won the Oscar, but I think he's shown that he can't hang out with people in that situation, so he should be banned. There should be some consequences.
He quit the Academy,
which means what? He can't vote. That's like me quitting. I'm not going to send in.
Can he get nominated too, or is
yes? It won't affect any of that, as far as I could tell. So I don't know what quitting means as a gesture. And his apology was not an apology.
Doesn't seem very remorseful.
Love will make you do weird things.
Bro, but that's like abusive talk. Like, that's abuser talk. Like, if you grew up in a house where there's an abuser, they'd always say shit like that, where it's like, I love you, and I did this because I love you, or I did this to whoever because I love them. And it's like, you don't get to say that. You don't get to say you committed violence from a love perspective. Like, it's just not. It's not how it works.
Yeah, it seems like he's.
I agree with you. Yeah, I didn't think of it from that perspective. Yeah. But that makes a lot of sense.
Well, even that apology seems more like he's talking to Chris Brown. I mean Jada, instead of Chris Rock. You know, she's like, I was just like, I'm sorry, the whole world hates you now.
No, he apologized to the Academy, but he never apologized to Chris Rock on that speech, at least. And then
so he was apologizing not for the action, but because of the consequence the action would take in that environment, because it was the Oscars. I mean, shout out to the Oscars. It was probably their most watched Oscars in quite some time.
It was. They're probably stoked right now. They're like getting all this press and people are actually watching.
Well, now that Will Smith's career is ruined, he can put that on his IMDb. Like, I was at the biggest Oscar.
Is his career ruined? Is that what you really think will happen?
No.
You think the fallout will be that? Because we were looking for something to watch this week, and King Richard came out. I was like, I don't watch that. Dude, I love the Williams sisters, and I don't know much about the dad. I know he's the coach, but I normally I would have absolutely watched that, but I'm kind of annoyed by this whole thing,
dude.
And that's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Two of my favorite movies growing up was a Will Smith thing, right? Like it was Pursuit of Happiness, which was a great movie, and Hitch. I was just like, those were like really fucking.
That's the
great
Kevin
movies.
James one. Is that Kevin?
Yeah,
James?
yeah, with Kevin James in it.
Yeah.
And now I just can't. I just don't want to.
I thought about that too.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, fuck, man, you really ruined your own movies for me.
I mean, Men in Black 1, 2, and 3 is like he's amazing, and I love those movies. And then the other one I was thinking of was a lesser known one called 6 Degrees of Separation. That's an earlier movie of his, which is great. And I'll even watch Wild Wild West, and it wasn't a great movie, but he's entertaining as hell in that, and he's a funny man, and Ali and all the other stuff.
I never saw him in Ollie. Was it good?
I mean, yeah, like,
but that's not him. That's actually Ali.
That's right. Yeah, who never sucker punch anybody. In fact, he let you slap the shit out of him until you thought you wore him out, and he wore you out,
and then he whooped your ass.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like, I used to watch The Fresh Prince with my father, like that. I mean, I go. Like that dude's got a 30-year astounding career, and I don't know, and I don't know if it's all lost because it's one silly thing, but I think it separates the art from the artist from the artistry. I don't know. There should be more consequences than, and I keep coming back to the fact that it was something that he chose to do because he could, and we talked about this because I was like, if anybody else, like. I would have loved to have seen like somebody else.
The Rock.
So people brought up The Rock, and who's the other dude?
Jason Momoa.
Well, that dude too, but the other wrestler.
Oh, John Cena.
Yeah, and I know those guys kind of fake fight. I don't want to fight either one of them. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I don't want to burst anybody's bubble about the WW whatever.
It's like Santa.
but like, how about a real Like, how about Mike Tyson giving us a word? You know, like if Mike Tyson was.
Can you imagine that?
No, I'm saying that. Like if it comes,
it comes by pigeon.
That's right. That'd be great. But if he's like, she and G.I. Jane too, you know. I mean, Will would have laughed his ass off. Jada would have laughed his ass, and I'm guessing that Will would have punched Jada just to show Mike that he's still got the crust. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that like it would have been a very, very different. Like we're saying we're defending honor. I think we're defending honor against a 150-pound comic against a 210-pound, athlete at the very least, but someone who did train. Who knows a thing or two?
Dude.
If Tyson, just imagine that.
Tyson's like alopecia.
I actually wanted to argue this on the grounds of just two humans and not bring that up. So whatever. I just know that like if Rogan was given that award, a trained murderer. Like, I mean, people think, oh no, that he's we've all watched the video of that kick. Like Rogan, he's a trained.
It's like a bullet.
He's a trained,
bald trained murderer.
And that was, yeah. I mean, I would have loved to have seen it just to see Will Smith get choked out on national television. Like I would
just tap
out. Yeah. Just whatever. I couldn't get past that part of it because it's not real. Yeah. It wasn't real. He didn't intend to fight Chris. It wasn't real. Like none of it was, and it was as absurd. Her being insulted by it, you can be insulted by it, but you're celebrities, and that's what you sign up for. You might there's a reason why Daniel Day-Lewis doesn't go to a lot of these things, or like any of the actors who are like who you consider the top artists in their field. Right.
But at least they know they can't hang, and they sit out.
And listen, I don't know Daniel Day-Lewis. Maybe he does go to them. I really don't know. But the job of you as celebrity, where people are tuning in because Will Smith is going to be there. I mean, am I wrong in that? Like, I don't know who any of the actors are in the independent movies that had sub-$1 million budgets, but we all know who the multi-million-dollar budget stars are, and we celebrate them. They're our heroes. I don't have anybody up.
Well, I feel like we're celebrating them a lot more now that they're having like a meltdown on live TV, though.
Yeah. I mean, was it a meltdown? It was, right?
Kind of a meltdown.
It was a meltdown. Yeah, it was a total loss of control. And I have to go back to that. Like, how soft. You're used to you've been in the game 30 years. What happened?
Right.
This didn't happen that day. So, like, this has been
something happened. Well, it's like a buildup of like the last 2 years for him. But the thing is, like, he brought so much more attention back to like that, you know what I mean? Like everyone now is making those jokes, and it's almost like more you attack the comedian, and then the whole comedy community just started fucking ragging on him.
You can't mess with comics.
No way,
you just can't. You are going to lose. There's no way you're going to come out,
because it is a dangerous precedent, dude. That like someone, if it like, it surprised me how many people supported Will Smith, and just a lot of people too who are like progressive people, right? Who claim to be progressive and anti-violence. And then you would be like, no, you talk some shit about someone's, you know.
That's what you get when you talk about somebody's wife, right? They said that.
They say you're going to let someone talk shit to your wife, or you're going to talk about like their insecurities. I'm like, that makes you so insecure. You know what
actually
I mean?
Not what you get.
No, not at all.
You get like you're in that position. That's what I don't know what that is, but that's part of the job. Every famous person who has any conscious thought always talks about how hard it is to be in the public eye. You're in a fishbowl.
Right.
But not only did they embrace it, they shared things that nobody would ever share. That like ever.
And you're a multi-billionaire at that point.
Well, multi-millionaire.
Right? Yeah, multi-millionaire.
Yeah. I'm
still. Sorry. He actually deserved to slap them, so only multi-millionaire.
Yeah, I mean they're both doing fine. But I mean it's like I'm just saying in the public, you don't have that line was crossed. It's like you want to be treated as the aristocrats, but you all, because it is an aristocracy. Am I wrong in that? You get a lot of privilege when you're in access that most normal people would never experience. Am I wrong in that?
No, you're right.
Yeah, I mean he's I feel like he's just on another level of stuff. Like this is no like Kramer situation where it's like shorter career, obliterating moment. Whereas Will Smith is like he has a bigger career, he can like come back, but it's just that like privilege more. Yeah. It kind of like tarnishes his legacy a little bit. He's not gone.
Yeah.
It's just also, ugly.
It also crosses the line of fantasy, like being in a movie. Like he thought he was on the set of Bad Boys for a minute.
Yeah, I think that was what they were saying, right?
Yeah,
like
man.
He felt like he was still in a movie, or he was still like in actor mode or something. It's just scary because like if it's a normal thing that people start to support, then like how many people will just go up to comedians and start smacking them in the face on a regular basis?
And comedians have been talking about. Now there's some comedians that nobody's going to do this to. Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm. But I'm talking like smaller comedians who are like
Kathy Griffin actually came out this week and said, what is this setting as a precedent? And she's absolutely right. But I mean, she lost her career because of a joke. I mean, she's coming back, but which is ridiculous. I mean, you're now talking about the Chicks, or the Dixie Chicks are known as the Chicks like all they said was something that was, of course, truthful, and they were just right. They had a comment about Bush, right? They had the Dixie Chicks.
I don't know. I thought you were just talking about the name being like outdated.
No. They lost their entire career went up in smoke because they said they were ashamed to be from the same place that I think George Bush was. Mm-hmm. This was like 10, 15, really? 12 years ago. So yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm just saying there are consequences to these things, but like the way he acted, it's like you thought you were on this like the set of a movie. It seems like you lost I get it if you're a method actor, but like if you're prepping for a role, you don't get to slap Chris Rock in that role unless he's getting paid and knows it's coming.
Right. I think a lot of people thought it was like a bit too, but
they did until the hush came over the crowd.
Right. After Will Smith said the second time, "Get my wife's name."
What is that? Yeah. Like what are you doing? I mean, how many people are going to have her name in their mouths after this?
A few people.
It's absurd. Like, who are you? You don't have you. It's totally ridiculous.
Inappropriate.
I mean, there's been meltdowns, and I don't see. I'm torn on this too. Am I going to stop watching? I've never been in this situation before. Like the only thing I've thought about was like Mel Gibson losing his mind. It's like I'm a Jew. but I still watch Lethal Weapon every Christmas Eve. Like Braveheart is a monster movie. I'm not taking that out of rotation. I'm never gonna hang out with Mel. I mean, I don't know Mel, and I mean, I think it's like, it's not good, but I mean, I'm not a Jew by religion, just by background, but it's just
By
a
proxy.
yeah. But I mean, Braveheart's a great movie. What am I supposed to do?
Slap Mel Gibson.
Well, Michael Ian Black said that. I think Michael Ian Black said Mel Gibson was right there. Why didn't you slap the shit out of Mel Gibson?
didn't
Why
say anything.
you going after Chris Rock? Well, if he would have slapped Mel Gibson, that would have, first of all, comic gold, just Oscar gold. I mean, like that would have been great. Just get up and then just. I don't know if Mel was really there. Was he really? He probably
I heard he was, but just slap someone unrelated to the joke.
Yeah, like terrible joke, but you deserve it. Yeah, I would love it. I would totally love that.
I would totally be on Will Smith's side for that.
Be like, yeah, Will.
That's interesting though. Would you? Because I would be too. Like, so yeah. Like, now what? See, this is where do we get to the truth in all this?
But then it would be an even better historic Oscars for a less toxic reason.
Right.
If it was just random. If it was just random.
If it was just anti-Semitism and senseless violence, it's all for the good.
Yeah.
It's all right.
That's so fucked.
It'd be great if there was like a line of celebrities to, like an airplane, and like on Mel Gibson, just one after the other.
Denzel Washington.
Denzel be saying to Mel, "See, at your highest moment, that's where the devil comes."
After each person smacks him, Denzel's like saging them and shit like that.
It was ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. I feel better now, but I did for about 5 days. I did not.
It really got under my skin, bro.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have. I usually don't post anything online, but I just was getting so annoyed, and I shouldn't have posted anything because every time I post anything, obviously, it's got people's opinions start pouring in.
It's the format. You're opening it up to to any idiot who's on Facebook, and let's face it,
And it's just the thing.
and trolls.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trolls,
And the thing is, like, normally I'm a very, like, angry dude at that kind of behavior. Like, I'm an irritated dude, right?
Yeah.
For someone who's, like, acting tough and macho.
Have you not seen me in traffic?
But that's hot. I mean, you're wearing short shorts, bending over, guiding me. I'm like, come on, I can't get mad at that.
I'm in traffic, bending over with shorts on.
Oh,
What traffic jam are you? This must be the movie Traffic Jam. yeah. You got the. We're talking about
Familiar. All right.
yeah.
Again, our OnlyFans page. Yeah.
Subscribe. It just annoys me, dude. It really boils my blood when someone who can. I'm not gonna name names, but people I know who could be like outwardly being like, yeah, I'm a total pacifist. You know what I mean? And then, or someone who I know who doesn't have to say they're a pacifist, but I know is kind of a bitch, like that. I know you won't smack me. What are you gonna do? I'll talk shit to you right now. What are you gonna do? Smack me in the face? I hope you would. Kind of type.
Yeah, no,
You know
I
what
never.
mean?
Yeah, and then which is all talk until it really happens, because at the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen.
Right, and
that's
my big thing. It's like a lot of these people who are talking all this stuff has never been punched in the face, and your perspective totally changes until you get punched right in the face.
Well, who is it? Is it Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Right.
Yeah. Another aspect of this was there's a new podcast out with. It's not new, but it's been out since January with Dana Carvey and David Spade. Have you?
I heard about it.
Have you?
Listen.
I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but it's all interviews with people somehow associated with SNL. Either they hosted or they were in the cast. And the first, they interviewed Chris Rock last week, like before the Oscars, and they were they were talking about it. I think they interviewed. Now I can't remember the context, but anyway, Chris Rock was talking about he just did years of therapy. Like he went through a bad divorce. And he was saying that his therapist helped him to realize that he was always afraid of his response and being violent. And I didn't know this, but when he was younger, he's the oldest of, I thought he said 7, but then his brother Tony, right, was on saying there was 10 rocks. So I don't know. There's more than 6. We'll just say that and less than 11, somewhere in there. And he was saying that he was always tasked with protecting his brothers when something happened. But even though he was the oldest, he was smaller than all of his younger brothers. He said he was just smaller than them. And this one guy embarrassed him and talked like a bunch of trash. And he ended up putting a brick in like a pillowcase and beating this guy. And he almost died. Like, I didn't know this about Chris Rock at all. Like this, he's a teenager, I guess. And for 3 days, they didn't know if this guy was going to live. But he said and he did, I guess. But he said since then, he's always been afraid of his temper because of what had happened. It was just interesting that he was talking about this and that it took years of therapy to get to a point where he's not afraid of it anymore and that he feels in control. And then to have that happen. And he proved that he's completely in control.
Yeah.
Of his.
I like how he's like, wow, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me. Like,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it was amazing. I really don't. Again, going back to just the whole idea of challenging somebody to a real fight. That's what was wrong with that. That wasn't Will Smith challenging Chris to a fight. That was him taking a moment of just complete surreal like nobody knew. I mean, as an audience, I didn't have any idea. I was a complete shock. So I couldn't imagine being the person actually struck in the face.
It feels like a toxic relationship that he's in right now. Because
between him and Chris?
Huh?
Between Will and Chris?
Definitely. For sure.
Actually, that's probably less abusive than his own marriage.
But it's like, if you were the husband and like you inexcusably black out and like, you know, get angry and commit some kind of violence or whatever, or you're on your way to do that, I feel like as a partner, you know, you should recognize that about them and stop them, right? Or discourage that kind of behavior. Instead, like, you're kind of laughing and it felt like you were kind of encouraging it. What I want to know though is like, he really did look like he was laughing at the joke at first, right?
He totally
laughed.
He laughed, like he buckled over a little bit laughing.
So it's like, what?
So the snap was split
triggered
second.
That. Yeah, dude.
Split second. Well, what triggered it? The side eye.
Right, but did he look at Jada and he was like...
Of course, he like was like this and then looked. He saw her and got up. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Basically what happened in the Tony Hinchcliffe special.
Oh, the daughter was there was a
I've never seen that.
There was just Making Friends. It's so good. You gotta watch.
It's so good. Yeah, there's a mother and father and they're there with their daughter, right? And the daughter is just scowling, I guess, at Tony, not laughing. And he's the kind of guy that's going to pick up on that and kind of like, you're at a comedy show. What do you know? And they thought they were going to, it just went terribly wrong for them. I mean, nobody got hurt physically, but.
Well, the mother approached the stage. Like mother was laughing at first and then she took the daughter's side and approached the stage. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Just watch it. It's great.
But it wasn't anything like Tony wasn't, the mother approached the stage and kind of reached out to say that he had small genitals. And then like, as she reached out to make this joke, he like kind of lunges forward with his hips. It's like, go ahead. Have a feel. Like he wasn't at all. Yeah, totally. So it didn't go well but the way he handles it is incredibly like, it was amazing to me. That was like, he's got serious chops.
Yeah. Oh my God. If he was the host of that award show, he would have burned the place down.
Yeah. Well, and that's sort of the whole thing. It's like that again, you can't have it both ways. You are at the Oscars and I can't help but go back to the king and queen or the aristocracy of it. Like, you are held up. The whole idea of the Oscars is to elevate you to like this status. Right. You signed up for it. You walk the red carpet. You answer stupid questions. You act as if this is like you're in like, I don't know anybody who's actually legitimately entitled to this kind of suspension of disbelief. Like, you're people. Like, I'm not, whatever. That's what it is. It's absurd. The whole thing is absurd. And I've watched it. I'm not saying I don't watch it. I'm just saying you signed up to be part of it. And you don't like something, so you have their heads cut off. Like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. Like, it doesn't, you can't not have it both ways. You just can't. You can't. It's a quote unquote somewhat of a free society, you know, especially if you're rich. It's a free society. Yeah. But it's you don't, like, there's free speech. And all things considered, I saw her on the red carpet in the green dress, and I thought she looked stunning. Mm-hmm. And I honestly thought, oh, maybe she's in a role. Like, because her head shaved. So I thought, I didn't know anything about the alopecia, and I guess he's been talking about it since 2018.
I didn't know anything about
Chris
that.
Rock didn't know anything about it either, and I'm sure he's he's not really one of those guys who goes after people for lame reasons. It just was an off the cuff thing. And usually his jokes are very well thought. He's a genius.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, in all honesty, if Chris Rock was making fun of my wife, I would.
Huh?
It's Chris Rock.
I'd be like, that's hilarious.
Have you ever been to a Dice show?
Oh my god!
So like we went.
I haven't, but I'm sure he would make fun of whoever. I mean,
well, like it's sort of like if you went to a Gallagher show in the '80s. You know, the Gallagher with like if you sat in the first 7 rows, there was plastic wrap to protect you from the watermelon. If you went to a Dice show, if you were in the first 5 rows, that's your fault.
Really?
Like you don't know who he is?
I mean, I've never seen a Dice special or.
I mean, that was part of his thing. Like he was going to. You know, like he would say to women in the front row, like he would just look at someone and say, "What's your name, sweet thing? Any idea?" Like that kind of stuff. Like it was a role. He got canceled because of this caricature that he created. He got canceled and he came back and he's fine. But my wife and I went with my sister-in-law and her husband, and I think we sat like in the 8th row. You know, because you don't. You sign up for it, and like the people in the front row, sure enough, caught. It's funny though. It's amazing, but that's your role. Like you're the audience, and it's kind of like if Chris Rock makes a joke about you, man, like that's pretty cool.
Just be a cool person and laugh with it, dude. Like
you don't
be able
have
to take
like
a joke. Like it's a joke.
It's
man.
a joke, and it wasn't even. Come on,
it wasn't
like,
that
as
bad.
far as things could go.
It was tame.
It was really like
that's why he was like, it was a G.I. Jane joke, dude.
Yeah, we're not even talking about again how fat Will Smith got over the pandemic. Fucking I Growbot. Oscars more like Oscar Myers.
Oh my god. How many you got? Go ahead. Batter up.
two more in there. Come on, man.
I don't know if I got any more.
No.
At the moment, I'll circle back.
But all right, well, wait. But you don't get to demand that people don't say anything. You don't get that. So if you feel that way, stay home.
Right.
You're still going to get the Oscar.
Celebrities live in that bubble where they're like, no one can touch me.
But that's what the Oscars is. And that's the whole point of comedians at the Oscars. Is it not?
You. Because you're already like a millionaire living an awesome, presumably life. You know, that's an assumption, obviously, but like you do get a lot of benefits, right? You get to act for a living. You get paid millions of dollars. You get to become a celebrity. And I'm not saying that's perfect. I'm sure you got like things in your life that, you know, aren't great. But at the same time, it's like you should be able to take a joke because you're fucking the people pay you to do what you love for a living
and pay you well. Yeah. So when he's talking about disrespect, he's not disrespected in the professional community. Did we lose the feed?
The light died, but I think the feed is gone.
So he's not disrespected by the community in Hollywood. He gets paid a percentage of gross. Some people say, "Oh, these people are overpaid." I don't think so. I think if you play for a team that sells millions in tickets, then you deserve it, and millions of views or millions of tickets for movies. Hell yeah, you deserve a part of that. Why shouldn't you? So what are you smirking at?
Sorry, I was just
for 3 sentences, Brad just like. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's thinking of a punchline or if he's
thinking about other Will Smith fat jokes.
He came up with another one. Let's hear it.
No. I just keep remembering something I thought of earlier when you brought up Rogan, where it was like, now Rogan's talking about Jada. She doesn't need Rogan talking about her. She needs Rogaine.
Obviously. Yes. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. What was great about that is I could see your wheels turning, but you're like looking at me like
waiting.
Like I'm waiting for him to pull the lube out and just like I don't know what's going on.
I'm sorry, that was rude of me. I'm really trying to focus, but that was one that I thought of before that keeps popping back into my head.
But I mean, in all honesty, you don't get to demand that. That's not. You don't get to. Yeah. End of story. So it's like the whole thing is very, very, very strange.
You think St. Rose students are going to come up to you and smack you in the face now after lessons?
I don't want to give them any ideas. You know, I hope not, but yeah, it's possible. No, it would be again, it's sort of the same thing. Like you have options, and one of them is never to slap anybody in the face for any of that. So
have you guys been hit in the face?
Yeah.
Because I haven't really.
I think like my brother, dude, at one point he would just, well, I'm not going to go into it, but one time he hit me and just while I was sitting in the car, just like I rolled my window down and just like sucker punch right in the face. And I'm just like.
On purpose?
Yeah, it was like a family feud type thing.
Wow.
That's never happened again.
Yeah.
Mostly because I got bigger than him. And, you know, I wouldn't let that happen. But yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I've been hit in the face like in high school and in life.
I got hit like in the face in kindergarten once, like over like a girl, but it's like I kind of remember being punched in the face, but it doesn't like feel that visceral.
So Epstein didn't like that you were looking at like. It's terrible. I'm sorry. That's all.
But I haven't been in a real fight. Like the closest I've had to a real fight was in middle school. There's this kid that moved to my school who like we didn't really get along at first, and he like we were both kind of like jokester kind of guys. And I walked into the locker room for soccer practice one day, and he was like jokingly hitting people with a belt, like doing I don't know whatever, and I like jokingly took off mine and was like, hey, knock it off. But then we actually started like hitting each other. That was and then we did for like a minute or two and then just stopped. It was like kind of gay.
Really gay. Like stop, just whipping each other. It's kind of hard.
Fights are weird. Like I didn't have to grow. Like I had two older brothers who loved fighting, and so nobody really bothered me through my high school because I just had older brothers. But I remember the person who hit me. I remember the feeling, and I remember how I remember like it was yesterday. Like you get tagged, and it's like it's not something that you know when if you get hit in the face or in the nose, and your eyes start welling up, and then you start to feel like the throbbing. It's not a pleasant feeling, and like that flight or fight thing kind of happens. And like when you get hit by a 200-pound man in the face, there's no way that didn't sting.
Easily 240, 250.
It's easy to make. I mean, like it's like he's so. That's the thing too. It's like it's not just his acting, but his who he is. His discipline. Like you knew when he showed that picture that in 8 weeks he was going to be ripped again. Like he's been ripped his whole life. So. I mean, he could have been pushing it out.
He has like a personal trainer that he can pay.
Yeah,
like, and that's he can do that all day.
That's true. But I don't hold that against anybody. If that's something you do, like his part of his career is based on that, like his physical appearance. You know, so that's an admirable trait, and whatever you got to do to get there, cool. You still don't get to slap Chris Rock.
I think he looks good. I'm just gonna keep calling him fat because he slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah, you might as well put his wife's name in your mouth. You might as well go full tilt. And
I'll do that too.
Wait for Will to find you up in wherever you are up in there. What's the name of your town?
Will Smith's on tour, just smacking people in the face,
slapping.
I'm gonna be in Albany tomorrow night. Go to willsmith.com. Willsmithslaps.com.
That would be an amazing tour. All you would hear is Jada. Next. Like that.
Denzel is just saging them. Not the victim, but Will. Just like the devil. Fuck you.
What else is going on? Anything else going on? Did we get to all of it?
Yeah, how long have we been going for?
I don't know. Is that right?
I don't know, like an hour or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Did you guys see that new Earthquake special that Dave Chappelle put out on Netflix?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was so good.
Yeah, I watched it. I texted you afterwards. You
I told you to.
Son of a
Oh,
bitch.
did I? Well,
Yeah.
I told you to watch it.
I did watch it. Don't tell me what to do though. Yes, I did watch it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like seen a clip or two of him before on YouTube or something, and I knew he was like a legend, but that was my first time seeing him, and I could just tell from watching that was
The
like
button you're looking for to come down in the ginger.
Yeah.
You just want.
Your fucking ginger mouth is so loud on my ear. I can hear it crackling.
Sorry. I'm just goading Brad because he can't say what he wants to say, the normal thing that he calls me.
What do you normally call him?
Nope, you can't do it.
Sweetheart.
Sweetheart.
Yeah.
Sweet nips.
Yeah, well,
That's what they call me. But yeah, man, I was watching that special, and I literally had to like get up and leave the room twice because I was laughing so hard.
change your underwear. Yeah. Yeah.
At the earthquake special, and like after like the third time I came back to keep watching it, I like my body started to like seize up, like I was like, wait, like okay, like seriously something's wrong. And it turns out I was having like a potassium deficiency episode while I was watching it.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, like it happened once to me when I was in
How
like
did you
soccer.
know? How did you diagnose it?
Well, I was like, my like legs were spasming, and I like had
you
to sit
cramping.
down. Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
And then I
That's-
had to like go lay down, and
Yeah,
then I
yeah.
remembered back when I was playing soccer
Eat a
in high
banana.
school.
They tell you to eat a banana.
Yep. And I usually do every day, but I was out of bananas that day.
Yeah. I didn't know that it
We
would.
got a
I'm a
banana
ill-fated
in the
day.
mini fridge.
Oh, that's right, we do.
Shout out to Mike Nappy leaving a rotten ass banana in my mini fridge. Son of a bitch.
But yeah, it was like life changing, legendary special to watch,
Great
and I
special.
literally thought it was killing me. I was like, why can't I sit and just watch a special?
Here lies Brad. His last words. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that's funny when a special takes you out. I had that happen when I was younger with my father-in-law was watching Eddie Murphy Delirious.
Yeah.
And he laughed so hard that he blacked out. They
you
thought
serious?
he was having a heart attack. We laugh about it now, but we're not allowed to watch that special in their house. They had to rush him to the hospital. It turned out he just was cut off enough oxygen
Yeah,
where
he
he
ran
lost
out of air.
He was laughing so hard at Delirious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So it was the Aunt Bunny thing, and like Eddie Murphy's doing the Aunt Bunny thing, and he literally had to be rushed to the hospital, and it was nothing but he just laughed too
That's
hard.
fucking hilarious.
So it can happen. Be careful.
Yeah.
Have a banana nearby when you're gonna watch comedy.
I'll sit next to you. Your potassium is going down.
Oh, it's so disgusting.
Sorry,
So
Mom.
gross. Now this is not made for kids. We got to change the rating
That
on
shit
this.
was not made for kids.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were made an innuendo.
like-
or...
No, this is just me high-fiving him, dude. Just high-fiving
I
him,
thought that
Brad.
was you slapping me.
I'm just handing him bananas.
For some
you know?
reason, he's slapping you in the back of the head. That's weird. That's not.
He's like, no, Pat, I feel fine. I'm like,
All right. So gross. Now we're gonna have to pan the camera up so we don't get in trouble.
Chiquita, sponsor us.
What else? Did we get to all of it? He was consoled by Denzel and Bradley.
he's a cuck.
He got a standing ovation by a bunch of weak. If you stood for that award, you're something wrong with you. As far as like maybe not something. Yeah, maybe.
Not,
Something wrong with the
it's
environment.
like a megaphone thing.
with the
like,
environment.
It's the same reason why everyone's saying that they would have slapped the shit out of someone if they talk shit. They're only saying it because everyone's saying it. You know,
But
what
it
I
is
mean?
it is the Hollywood environment, and I will leave off on this unless we're not done. But what Chappelle said about leaving his show and taking off, and he talked about all these very strong-willed humans like Martin Lawrence or Mariah Carey who had breakdowns, emotional and nervous breakdowns in that. And he goes, maybe it's not the people, maybe it's the environment. When you see all those people stand to award a man crying, saying that he wants to be a vessel for love and whatever the opposite of slapping the piss out of people is, and then that was accepted as like a moment, like yes, let's all stand up. And the fact of the matter is he should have been removed, and he wasn't because he didn't want to be. Mm-hmm. I think that sums up the entire absurdity of all of it.
Yeah. Overall, we support Will Smith. Will Smith all the way.
Really?
Sponsor us, Will Smith.
And best wishes to Chris Brown on dealing with alopecia.
You won't leave the Chris Brown thing.
She beats men. She's the female Chris Brown. But she does it with her mind.
We're gonna have a Chris Brown counter like on the side of the screen.
That's up to you.
Yeah. Just edit it in.
What else? Did we get to it today? Is there anything else we were going to just... I don't know what we intended
If I
to.
edit this before on my gigs, I just want to shout out my gigs. I got a few coming up.
What is it?
So April 15th in Huntington, New York, playing in Star Paul Studio with Bad Mothers.
Bad Mothers.
April 22nd in Empire's Live in Albany, playing with Bad Mothers 2. Not one, Bad Mothers 2. And then we're playing Tulip Fest, so that's going to be cool. Main stage, May 7th. And then a few other shows, but you'll see that on our website.
Cool. You got anything coming up?
Yeah, I do. I feel like it's like too much to...
Anything?
Chris Brown, bing, bing, bing.
Like, it's just all such random stuff. I can't even remember where most of it is.
Don't even tell me those are all your gigs.
That's a whole ass. Did you got? Holy shit!
That's a big ass.
You
list.
were scrolling.
Was that all
dude.
gigs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Good for you, man.
And you have them all memorized. You're gonna lay them on us right now?
No, I don't know where any of these things are. Like, I have my second stand-up comedy gig on the 16th, but I can't remember the name of the venue.
That's bad.
So
So not only are people not going to go, you aren't either. That's a really bad.
I'm gonna promote. I just got done with the past 3 days. I got.
Yeah.
So remember, Brad has stand-up comedy somewhere.
Yeah. I think I have a Reelin' in the Years gig in May. I think it's May 28th.
That photo of you and Joey and Jennifer, it was so badass. Such a cool photo.
Did you see?
Yeah,
I didn't. I just saw that this morning. Was that posted this morning?
I don't know. I saw Jennifer post it at some point. But.
Yeah, there's a beautiful photo of Jennifer and then Joey Eppert singing, and then I'm in the background because from that angle I was in the middle. And Tony Levin, I didn't know Tony Levin was at the.
Oh, that's right. And he took the picture, like super.
Yeah.
Like,
Tony Levin was at the club that night and took some pictures, and they're really nice. I was really because Neil Siegel took the other photos that were going up. Yeah. But that band, let me just get that one straight. I think it's May 28th at the Falcon. If anybody wants to come out to that one, that's a great band. That's a lot of fun to play in. I
found my gig. It's April 16th in Poughkeepsie.
Nice.
At
what venue?
At Pizzeria Barane. See, I don't know how to pronounce it. I was just going to say Poughkeepsie, and then you guys had to press me.
Oh,
Poughkeepsie's,
yeah.
Poughkeepsie.
Yeah, that's it. And then
just say the Civic Center.
Yeah,
Opening for Will Smith.
I'll say other stuff on the Machan interview.
Oh yeah, we're going to be interviewing Machan Taylor, and that's coming up next week. And I think we're going to have Gil Paris.
Oh yeah.
And there was somebody else in there. We're going to interview my high school band teacher.
That's right.
Larry
That's gonna be
Balestra.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's all happening next week.
Larry is in a couple weeks. Next Saturday is Machan.
Yeah.
So we get to talk about her career and the thing. I mean, she's been on multiple tours with Pink Floyd and George Benson, and then she was also a member of that group Hiroshima. In the 80s. Was that the 80s? It was the 80s.
Oh, I wasn't sure the exact year.
And she just put out a new single that's on YouTube right now. So yeah, she's very cool, and that's she's also the wife of Danny Lewis, who we interviewed a few weeks back. The Government Mule. Oh, she's toured with Government Mule.
They canceled their tour, right? Just recently?
Yeah, I did, because they all slapped the shit out of somebody. And they
Wait, Machan has alopecia?
Chris Brown?
but Danny is bald.
Oh.
Yep.
That's real. I should just slap the shit out of Brad right now. Got a defense arm.
Yeah, that was a good slap. In his defense,
the
that was a
defense
good,
arm was fucking slick,
no,
and he followed through.
He followed through,
I mean?
as if Chris was going to hit him back.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, right.
No. I wish he did.
I'm telling you, if it was, I would have loved to have seen a straight up murderer have that happen, because it would have never happened. Would never happen. But if you put Tyson, all I could think of was Tyson or Rogan, two guys that oddly enough are built almost this. Tyson's got about 30 pounds of muscle, but they're around the same height. But I think he's about 220, 225. Iron Mike. Yeah, if your first name is Iron.
Yeah. I don't want to smack you.
Yeah.
My hand's just like.
But I would have loved to. Actually, I wouldn't. This is the same. Goes along the same path of like people who talk all that shit until a fight actually happens, and you really want no part of it. I'll be honest. I wouldn't want to see that. Like as much as I would have liked to have seen just the justice of it. There's no way I'd want to see anybody get hit by Mike Tyson who isn't prepared to get hit by Mike Tyson. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't want to see that, actually. I wouldn't want to see Chris. The only reason why the show had any saving grace was that it didn't go into that.
Right.
Because it would have been really weird. It was chaotic enough.
You think it would have been weird if like the police escorted out Will Smith?
Yeah. But it wouldn't have been weird to just ask him to leave and you leave.
But like he refused to leave, so what if the police got like involved?
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
They'd go to commercial and then have the police. They went to commercial
anyway. They turned the volume off.
Really?
Yeah. The only way we know what really happened is because in Europe they didn't have it.
I think it was Japan, actually.
It was somewhere. Yeah. Okay. But it wasn't because like here it was just like the whole thing was like he's like uh-oh, and then Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me, and then that's it. You don't hear. I don't think you could.
You could hear the keep my wife's.
You could hear it because it's not on the microphones of it's just out. He was yelling that loud.
Yeah.
Like that's how disturbing his yelling was because people heard it. They're like, what is going on? Mm-hmm. I guess. But anyway. I got off track. You're playing at the Civic Center in September. Got it.
Yeah. Dancing at Madison Square Garden all next month.
Yeah. Cirque de Ginger. You can't say it. You want to say what you want to say, but you cannot say it.
Yeah, I can.
What is it?
Well, I'll tell you after. He said it just before we started. He called me it just before we started.
I can't say that
You
either.
can't say it either.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson could say it.
Mel Gibson did say it.
I'll slap him for you.
Keep Matt's name.
Keep Matt's heritage out your mouth.
Keep Matt. I can't even
Yeah, poor Mel.
Poor Mel. No, he's fine.
Mel's gonna play Jada Pinkett when they do the biopic of this film.
I hope Chris Brown plays Jada Pinkett. That would be amazing.
Look at.
That's the next movie I'll watch. It's produced by Will. Yeah, I'll watch that one.
Who had it worse, Kramer or Gibson?
Mel's still acting. So
Yep.
Probably Kramer.
Good argument.
Definitely Kramer.
Kramer's making like a lot of money for like residuals on Seinfeld. Though. He definitely is, right? He could just sit down and fucking collect
I don't think
money.
he ever had to. I don't think it was ever. He's a comic. He just can't perform, which is death. I mean, he's for real canceled. Like he can't. Yeah. No one's gonna go to that show. He can't. I don't think he could sell tickets. Nobody wants to see him.
He could be like an underlord of open mics.
There's a real fall from grace.
Right? You went from an actor to underlord of open mic.
He's the warm up for Kill Tony, right? He's just gonna come out for that show. Yeah, it would be the underlord, not even the overlord. The underlord.
Bottom lord.
Yeah. So I just watched him. Mel's still making movies.
Mel won it. Okay.
Yeah, Mel's still making. I mean, he was in what was that Will Ferrell comedy that he did with Mark Wahlberg?
22.
Stepdad, step.
No, wait, Mark Wahlberg, where they were both like kind of cops.
No, that's the other guys. That's a masterpiece.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No. Mel Gibson plays. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Mel Gibson, sponsor us.
Yeah, what else? Is that it? We got it?
Were you trying the end? Yeah, I mean, I'm good to...
Covered?
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in with us today. That's this is the Mink and the Monk with Brad Monkell.
Mm-hmm. Good to have you, Pat.
Flores made the sojourn
Good to be
again.
here.
Sojourn again this time from Albany. You came down.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was like an hour. Not bad.
No, I make that trip a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Till then, we'll see you on the next time.
Yep.
Does that work?
Yeah.
We did it.
We did it.
All right, guys.
We bravely talk shit about Will Smith from the confines of our basement.
You want to get a little more Chris Brown in this counter? Or?
Chris Brown. Lots of unexplored territory in this episode, guys.
It's just going up.
Well, it was great to see you boys again, and see you on the next one.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Later. They're just getting worse and worse.
It's just a horrible clap.